Today's July 28th, 2020. It's Tuesday. My work week started. I'm feeling the summer moving along. The Lammas holiday is this Saturday, the halfway point between the summer solstice and the autumn equinox. It's coming up in a few days. Will be a full moon as well. And I'm feeling the topic of manifesting dreams. The ability to do that and the beauty of doing that, the importance of doing that. Both for us to stay deep in touch with where our joy is, where our passion is, what we want, to the act of believing in that and cultivating it, creating it, following through with it. It seems to be what we're here to do on the planet. And then I think we're being asked to check in with, are we manifesting our dreams? Are we creating the world we believe in? Are we tired and exhausted, too tired to pursue our dreams, too worn out? If so, then what's going on? Why? What are we giving our energy away to too much? Too many days at work, too many hours at work, too much work that doesn't really matter to us, that we don't believe in. How is it that we can create something that we do believe in? It's not an easy task, but I feel we're all being called to do it, to manifest the tiniest dream. It's both satisfying, fulfilling to see it be birthed into life, but it seems the magic doesn't stop there. Once we birth it, to see how it affects everyone else, it seems to be the beginning of the real magic. I'm feeling how much it's been encouraging and inspiring to me to get feedback from people off these videos that I've been sharing. It means so much to me just to have, even a single person just respond in a sincere and genuine way to something in the video touched them, something they could relate to it. They were encouraged by it. They were inspired by it. Like that in itself. It feeds me. There's something going on there with us manifesting our dreams and how it affects each other when we do that. How in the manifesting of our dreams, we're also sharing our dreams out loud. Instead of them just staying in our heads or in our hearts, we're bringing them out into the 3D world, and other people are getting to interact with them. And then that changes our reality so much. So manifesting your dreams is not always a selfish thing to do. It's like the planet needs us all to be manifesting our dreams. We don't know how much manifesting one dream may change everybody around us, how much it may influence our communities or change our worlds, how much it encourages us and gives us joy and confidence to do it again. And I'm feeling that right now. I'm feeling tomorrow I'm launching my first Wu Wei Brotherhood online. And man, that's been a dream of mine for a couple of years. And been hosting men's groups for about 3 or 4 years, 3 years. And but I haven't done it online out to an open audience, to the whole public before. And so that's tomorrow is my first event. I'm both excited and nervous about it, but really feeling good about offering it out there and seeing what happens, seeing how it affects my brothers that show up for it. See how many, what I don't know, how many people are affected by it just by me offering it. All the people that are aware that I'm offering it and how that's affecting them. Last night with Becky, I was working on Eremito, our Inner Temple Awakening retreat. It's coming up in Umbria, Italy, right around the fall equinox at the end of September. Not very far away at all. And wow, the excitement of birthing that dream. And I had to, get close. Sometimes you dream it, you organize it, you plan it, and then sometimes you forget about the seed of the dream of like, why? Why would I even do it in the first place? And we were trying to get really clear with our words, like, why? Why do these videos? Why host men's groups? Why do a retreat called Inner Temple Awakening? And to speak to that right now, I would just say that like there's so much going on in our world today that feels very like meaningless to me. Very much like I don't care. It seems a waste of my time and energy. It's uninspiring. I feel like there's so many topics that are much more closer to the heart and soul of what being a human being is that we're not addressing. That we're not living as embodied human beings on the planet right now. The majority of our population is not in touch with their divine consciousness. They're not showing up as creators in the world. They're not manifesting their dreams. They're not speaking their dreams. They're not speaking their truth. And maybe they're in different states of disconnect or depression or giving upness. And I can't blame them for that. We have a lot going on in our inner world stories, and we've got a lot going on in our outer world right now. And there's so much going on in the outer world that I'd like to speak to, but sometimes in these videos I want to just ground in what all that noise out there, where does that land inside me right now? And I feel like maybe that's where is most genuine for me to speak to, is like where all of the story of the world is landing inside my body right now. And if I can find that, if I can put words to it and speak it, I feel like that connects with other human beings, and that we're all taking part and turning each other on and activating each other and shining our lights bright and showing each other how cool that looks. Or if I've forgotten how to shine my light bright, I need you to do it for me. I need you to shine your light bright so it can remind me, so I can remember that, like, yes, human beings can look like that. Human beings can act like that. Human beings can do, oh my God, things I never imagined. It makes me want to tune into what's got me on fire, what can get me most excited, where's all my joy and passion, and like, can I be brave enough to dare to start to bring these things into life? Can I host a men's group, because I feel like men have so much work to do together. Men are in so many states of disconnectedness, so much about just getting by-ness, so much of a blocking out, so much of a walls up, guards up. What does it feel like for men to access other parts of our human beingness? What's it like for men to start to feel strength and confidence in the circular body of other men, to feel supported by them, to feel safe enough to explore different parts of themselves in those circles, safe enough to speak the parts that are in their own lives, in their closest relationships where they're having the most struggle or hang-ups. If we can start to discover this in bodies of men, like if we can start to heal aspects of ourselves, start to come together in communities of men, then what kind of dreaming is going to start to take place, not just in the individual, but in the collective? What big dreams want to come through that take whole bodies of men working with bodies of women together to birth new visions, new creations on this planet. I feel like we're being called to learn how to learn in new ways. To learn not just from one individual's brain or words or thoughts, but how to learn from whole collectives. How to learn from whole bodies of human beings, bodies being like groups of human beings, whole circles of men gathered. When we all speak, what's the bigger message coming through? Can we pay attention to it? Are we attentive to it enough to hear not just the individual messages, but also a group message coming through? Can we start to read the signs of what spirit is active in many bodies? What spirit messages are coming through many bodies? What potential is there? What is wanting to be birthed through the human being, through bodies of men? Can we hear it? Can we attune ourselves to it? Can we get inspired by it? Is there a role that we want to play in that? I feel that when we're attentive to our own healing and our own learning, we're looking for signs. We're on a path of growth, and so we're looking for anything that can help us with that growth, any blind spots that we've been missing. When people show up and hand us something, if it upsets us too much, we may be dismissive of it, but we might think like, wow, I am looking for some signs right now. Maybe I shouldn't dismiss that so quickly. Maybe I'll just keep it over here and think about it for a few more days and consider it from a few more angles. And I feel like as long as we're doing that, as long as we're being open and receptive to the signs, as long as we're looking for our own growth, for our own healing, for our own evolution, why then we're going to be noticing the signs coming from everywhere. We're going to be attentive to them. We're going to be receptive to them. We're going to be noticing we've been hearing the same thing over and over again through many different people, through strangers that don't know each other, are all telling me the same thing when I bump into them. I'm reading the same thing in books. I'm seeing the same thing here. It's like the signs for my growth are coming in on every channel that I can pay attention to. And I think when we're attentive to that as an individual, it's easier for us to be receptive to that on the world scene as well. We can start to hear the bigger messages coming in for all humans, coming through the planet, coming through the plants, coming through the animals, coming through the weather, coming through the cosmology. I think when we're on our own healing growth, healing path for ourselves individually, it's not hard for us to read the signs of the bigger world changes taking place. If we're hesitant or resistant to our own personal path, well, then we don't want to see change in the world, and we're resistant to it. And we don't want to look below the surface of anything. And if somebody tells us something, we're like, no, that's not my story. I don't need to hear it. But I think it's those who are already working on themselves, already on a growing path for themselves, that are attentive and aware to what's happening on the planet right now. And that same receptive, growing eagerness to hear that's happening within serves them to see the bigger messages coming through on what's happening on the planet right now, what's happening in our governments, what's happening in the masses of the population, what evolution is trying to take place, what changes are crying out to be made. Can we hear them? Can we feel them? Are we being inspired to birth these changes? Do we have ideas, platforms, ways for these new evolutions to start taking root, start landing in the 3D, start happening here? How can we show up and support each other to awaken to our full potential, to dream a more beautiful version of the human being, and to start to embody it, start to live it, start to create from there, start to create with each other? What does it take for us to remember? Remember that the one source consciousness that is responsible for all reality flows through us, is here in this 3D world as us, and that anything we need to know we can access right through our own hearts. We can ask and quiet and still ourselves, and we'll receive the answer inside of our own heads, inside of our own minds. If we're not sure what the answer is, if we stay attentive and keep that prayer strong, that intention strong in our minds, in the focus of our minds, in our hearts, prayer, in our bodies, prayer, the answers will come all day, all night, the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year. All we have to do is ask and receive and stay rooted in our own channel of truth and not give our power away to other people who tell us we have to wait or study or receive something from them before we can access that channel. We have to remember that it's available to all of us. It's our birthright. It's what being a human being is. We have a lot to learn, a lot to heal just by being in one of these bodies. There's a lot of work for us to do, and we're all on our own timing with that. But we also can access all that we need from Source through us. And we can ask for help from others to help to wake up that channel, help to refine that channel, help to clear that channel, help to grow it more sensitively. How to hear it. You can ask for those awakened souls around us to reflect back to us where our blind spots are, what they see in us. Ask them, what divinity do they see in us? Because I don't know. I need your help to see it sometimes. I need to be reminded of it. I need to see you shining so that I can remember how to shine myself. These are my thoughts today, that when I don't take the time to speak them, nothing comes through. That, in other words, the gifts are made to be manifested, the gifts are made to be shared, the gifts are made to be given. And if we don't give them, they don't happen. If we don't speak them, no one hears them. If we don't create them, no one gets to interact with them. If we don't channel our wisdom every day, it's backlogged. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. We've missed the wisdom of all those days. Then try to speak it, it's jumbled. Maybe we get 1 day's worth of wisdom out, but we've missed it. The channel wants to move through us, as us. So this is my encouragement to share your gifts, to manifest your gifts, to speak your gifts, to speak your truth, to create what you believe in, what your highest dream is for being a human being, what your highest joy and passion is, to create it so that I can see it, so that I can interact with it, so I can hear it, so I can be inspired by it, so that we can keep this energy flowing through us. And with our excitement, create. In our power, in our dignity, in our beauty, in our grandeur, create. And see what an amazing world and planet we can begin to inhabit. Thank you, beautiful souls. Oh.